Hi, everybody. Welcome to ODA Live. I'm coming to you today. I'm traveling today. I'm actually in Dallas, so I love to come to Texas when I can. It's a fun place. I have my coffee. So today, I thought we would talk about the Database Appliance Web Console. For those of you that are running the X6-2 SMNL or any of the X7 bare metal models, you're using what I call the ODA CLI stack or the / DCS stack. By the way, DCS stands for Database Cloud Service. Hint, hint, this is the same infrastructure that's used in the OCI cloud infrastructure as well. So we're working to converge our stack. So that's just a little known tidbit for you guys that joined or watched our session today. So for the next few minutes, I wanted to talk about the web console. It's a great user interface for our customers that may not use the command line all the time or looking for a user interface. And we're doing a lot of work on it as well. So first of all, let me just show you what the web console looks like after you have configured or plumbed the network on an ODA. So if you get a brand new database appliance, the very first step you have to do is plumb the network to get it on the network to start with. Because once you put it on the network, then you have to update the Oracle database and grid infrastructure software or move it over to the database appliance. Once that's done, then you're ready to provision the database appliance. And you want to do this through the web console. It's a really nice way, easy way to input all the information for the database appliance and provision it. So let's take a look really quickly at a screenshot of the database appliance. Okay. So this is the Database Appliance Web Console, and the way that you get to this console screen, after you've plumbed the network, you have at least either the single instance node IP or the node 0 of the HA system. You have one IP address. And so you're going to go over to your browser. Now, as far as which browser to use, we found that the most successful browser to use is Chrome. So if you go over to Chrome and you type https:// either the host name or the IP address. If this is the very first time that you use the console and you're using it to provision your ODA, you really should just use the IP address because you haven't input the system name yet. It doesn't know what the host name is. So I would put in the IP address :7093/mgmt/index.html. And once you well, first of all, there is another screen previous to that. Let me show you what that looks like. Sorry about that. It looks like this. I got ahead of myself. I got all excited. So when you put in that IP address or that HTTP URL, what it looks like is this. You'll probably get this screen that says your connection is not secure. And so the first thing you want to do is say advanced and say, yes, I want to go to this screenshot. And then once you go to the screenshot and after you say, yes, I want to go to advanced, I definitely want to go to this URL, then this window pops up. Oh, one second. I'll get you to that screen. Still learning to maneuver all these different screens on this Google Live. Okay, so we want to see this one. So then, as you can see, then here is the screen that will come up. After you say advanced, yes, proceed to this URL, this screenshot will come up. And right now, the only username that you can type in is ODA-admin. Now, while I understand that, we are working to add additional capabilities to have different usernames within the web console, right now, ODA-admin is the only username that works for this. But we are working on it so that you can have individual users set up to also log into the web console. So you'll type in ODA-ADMIN, ODA-admin. And then when you click on the password screen, it's going to pop up. So this is one of the first security issues that we put into the ODA admin, or should say the security features we're putting into the ODA web console. So when you go to the web console, it's going to ask you for a new password. And you're going to have to actually follow this new algorithm. Let me show you what that looks like. And when you log in, you can type in anything in the password. So usually first thing I do is type in welcome1. And this information will pop up and say, I'm sorry, you're going to have to change the password. And the password algorithm is going to have at least 2 uppercase, 2 lowercase letters, 2 numbers, 0 through 9, and then 2 special characters. Now, right now, the only special characters we support are the pound sign or the hash sign, dash, and an underscore. So it should be at least 9 characters, no more than 30 characters. Excuse me. So this is going to help secure who can log in to your ODA web console. So here you can see the username ODA-admin. Update your password before you log in. So that's how you start accessing the web console. Now, if you've never, if this is the first time logging into the web console to provision the database appliance, the first thing you're going to see is a button that says Create Appliance. You're going to select that button, Create Appliance, and then a screen is going to pop up to help you input all the IP values and system names that are required in order to deploy the database appliance. Let's take a quick look at a screenshot of that. Excuse me. Okay, so after you click on the Create Appliance button, because this is the first time you've accessed the web console, here you can see where it has where you can enter the host name, the domain name, region and time zone, DNS, NTP servers, and then at the very top you'll see something called data storage percentage. That is based on how much usable storage you want to have allocated to your data disk group. That number can be anywhere between 10 and 90. And this helps you control your disk sizes for your data disk group as well as your RICO disk group. And then you have to enter a system password. The system password has the same algorithm as your ODA admin or your web console, using the 9 characters, 2 uppercase, 2 lowercase, 2 numbers, 2 special characters. So this system password is for your root password. So after the database appliance is deployed, and by the way, you log in as welcome1 as the default, but once the ODA is deployed, your new root password is going to be the system password that you enter here at the Create Appliance. So don't mess it up and write it down or remember what you put in as the root password. And then if you scroll down, you'll see the network information is the next section. Now, there are already some IP addresses populated here in the web console. These IP addresses are based on the information that you use to plumb the network. So the very first time you provision your database appliance, once you log in as root, you type configure first net, and it prompts you for the IP address as well as the net mask and the gateway. This information is then pre-populated, and as you can see, you cannot change it. So you want to make sure that when you configure FirstNet, that you populate the right information, because this is going to be used as part of the deployment. And then if you continue to scroll down, you can modify the user and group selections. You can also create an initial database if you so desire, and you put in all the information. Now, the DB version that is going to be bolded in black is based on the version of the database clone files that you've uploaded into the ODA repository. For those of you that are using the ODA CLI command line, you will know that you will have to update the software or move the software or copy the software excuse me, up to your database appliance, unzip the file, and then update the repository with that zip file. You can update different clone versions, and right now on the database appliance, we support database versions 12.201, 12.102, and 11.204. I'm not sure, but sometimes I think there's some confusion about whether you can have more than one database version on a database appliance. Absolutely. You can have several Oracle homes of the same version. You can have Oracle homes of all 3 different versions of the database on the same database appliance. But which version you can create with the database appliance is dependent on the clone file that you've uploaded into the Oracle Database Appliance repository. Okay, so once you have entered all the information in the web console, then you just press the submit and a job is run to provision the database appliance. So really, it's really easy to provision the database appliance using the ODA CLI command line. I really like this interface. The developers have done a fantastic job of creating this new UI interface for the ODA CLI command line. For those of you that aren't on the X6 or X7, stay tuned because we're going to be migrating all the Oracle Database Appliance models, X3, X4, and X5, to this new ODA CLI stack, and you'll be able to experience the same great UI features that we have in the web console, and there's a lot of new ones. I just want to show you one more a snapshot of the Database Appliance console to just kind of show you the kind of activities that you can do within the Database Appliance web console UI. So once your database appliance has been deployed, you will be able to view a summary of the database appliance itself. You'll be able to, as you can see across the top, you can go to the databases. You can see all your databases that are configured. If you're doing backups to the cloud, we have a way to input your object store credentials to provide you an easy way to back up, and we'll save the backup information for another ODA live conversation. Coming up in a couple of releases, we're going to have some new monitoring capability on the database appliance, and also the activity is to see all the jobs, like when you create a database, any kind of activity or task that you run on the database appliance, a job is always run in the background. On the left-hand side, you can see appliance, which gives you the appliance information. You can see all the networking interfaces. You can look at Oracle ASR, how it's configured, or if you didn't configure it to begin with, you can configure it from this particular case. And then we have some patch management. We'll save the patch management information for another time on another ODA Live. So the last thing I want to share with you is just some general information about the web console. Some things that I've seen or some helpful information that I've used as I've used the web console. So let me share this last screenshot with you, and we can take a look at some helpful information. So if you ever want to take a look at the log files around the web console, as you can see, there are 2 different configuration files, the DCS controller.json and DCS agent.json. I would not recommend for you to change those configuration files unless you're working with somebody in ODA support, but you're welcome to take a look at these 2 configuration files. If you need to start and restop the DCS controller, I've had to do that only when I've done a few things into the ODA and the web console says I get an error like there's no response. So I just end up restarting the init DCS controller and the init DCS agent. After that, then the web console is easy to get into. If on some other browsers you get an error about certificate is invalid or not trusted, you can go in and accept the certificates for the console and the agent, and then at that time you should be able to use the other browsers. So Firefox works pretty well, but you need to accept the certificates. Like I said, Chrome is probably the easiest browser, or the browser that I've found that just works out of the box with the web console. Okay, so that's all I want to share with you today. Thank you for joining, and also thank you for listening. We'll talk to you in a couple more weeks about another an ODA topic, and I look forward to seeing you later. Okay, have a great day. Bye.